Hello and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You're gathering with us for the Cookout Podcast. We only have two workhorses tonight, as Sammy's a little under the weather and CM has better things to do than to talk WWE. I'm just going to put her on blast and tell her like it is. When I said we were going to talk elimination chamber,
Wow.
when I said we were going to talk elimination chamber, she said I won't be there. I said, "All right." So you see how it is. So I said
I
you can
mean,
come first
granted,
and talk. You can come first and give us your cloud of the week, and then like say something and dip out. But I asked her, she was like, "You want me to lie to you or tell you the truth?" I was like, "All right, say less. It's all good." So, so needless to say, me and Anika are here, and after Elimination Chamber was over, I sent a message to the group and said we got to talk about it tonight. So we were going to watch Lucha Underground, but because I said I had to do this, and everyone seems to think it's going to take more than like 10 or 15 minutes to talk about, which I suppose it could, this is what we're going to do tonight. We are going to review Elimination Chamber from Saturday night. But before we do that, you got a clown?
uh, sure.
Okay. Go ahead and give
Clown
it
of
to
the
us.
week for Elimination Chamber. Them kids. Those small little kids from 2009 to 2016. John Cena's my hero. John Cena's a Superman. He's never gonna do. Fuck them kids. Yes, y'all are the clown of the freaking week. Because you know what? If y'all would have let him do this 10 years ago, he wouldn't have done it now. But look at you. Because y'all just need a superhero. Because y'all just needed somebody to dream on. And y'all just can't handle losing. You made me go through 10 years of Super Cena. And now you have heel Cena. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It was always gonna happen. You thought you was gonna get through your lifetime with no Hill Cena. Well, guess what? Here he is. So that's the clown of the week. The freaking kids who really thought Cena was gonna be babyface until he retired. Life
I,
happens.
I guess I'm a clown because honestly, like at this point in time, that was literally the last thing I thought was going to happen. I mean,
Look,
I could have sat down with a piece of paper and come up with 100 things that could have happened at WrestleMania in the Elimination Chamber, and that would have not been one of them. This dude has spent the last 10 years at least of his career being the hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up. I mean, this dude is by far, without a doubt, hands down, 1,000,000% the biggest babyface in WWE history ever. And then to do this, which, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with heel Cena, except in this situation. One, it makes no sense, and two, it's way after the fact. So
it does make
I mean, it's
sense,
just
but you don't want it to make sense. So, but you know what? I'll flip it. I'll flip it. I'll say none of the people who thought he was going to be face until he retires, the people who wanted him to be babyface until he retires, y'all are clowns of the week. Because, like, really? What fun would this retirement tour have been of babyface Cena for a whole entire year? That would definitely would have been boo. That definitely would have been, oh, I'll tap out of this whole year of WWE because that darn Cena's retirement tour did nothing for me, let alone babyface Cena did lower than that for me. So at least with Hill Cena, we got something somewhat interesting. So those are clown of the week. The kids who really wanted Cena to stay babyface. You bland vanilla suckers.
yeah, I can't lie. It honestly swerved me. I didn't. He played it out until the last moment. Even when he hit him, I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck just happened?" Like, I still was like, "What? Wait a second, what do we got going on here?" And then as it got worse, oh shit, okay, I guess all right then. So,
Let's,
needless to
let's
say,
go
the crown of the
around.
week is obviously associated to Elimination Chamber. So I guess that's a perfect segue to dive right in. I didn't actually put on the matches. I just put up a little banner that we're reviewing Elimination Chamber. So there was technically only 4 matches, so it's not that hard to remember what they were. Before we do that, real quick, if you're with us, we appreciate you choosing Workhorse Wrestling Network for any of your wrestling needs, content, whatever you tune in for. If you're new to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, hit the bell to be notified. If you're with us on Twitch, give us a follow. If you're with us on the Clock app, please give us a follow over there. We appreciate you wherever you are at, checking this out, whether it's live or later down the road, which you can always do. So, uh, without further ado, Elimination Chamber from Saturday night. It opened with the women, and it started with a bang. All the women kind of came down, and before it even got started, Miss Jade Cargill made her return to WWE TV and made her way to the Elimination Chamber. And we thought it looked like she was about to go after Liv Morgan, and quickly turned her attention to Miss Naomi and put a beating on Miss Naomi like I haven't seen in a while. That was a nasty little beating. So, and Bianca was left in the pod that was already locked to watch it and show quite a bit of emotion. So, before we even break into the match, what about this? What did you,
No,
let me see your hands over your face, tell the whole story. So,
I don't believe it. There's no freaking visual video proof that Naomi did it. I stand by Naomi till you show me that she's the one who attacked Jay. Until then, Jay lost her freaking mind. She just got here. I'm not sure what she was on that you thought it was Naomi, but it wasn't Naomi. I'm not gonna believe it until Friday night, and Naomi confirms. Because I don't believe Jay. She was a heel in AEW, so I can't trust you. I'm not gonna believe Jay until Naomi listen. I, like you said, for the seasoned wrestling fans who know what's going on beyond the curtain, right? And you can suspect how a storyline's gonna go, but until it actually happens, it really is like this impacted me way more than Cena. No, I'm not no like in 100% sincerity. I was just like, no, because my chocolate towers of power, my CCCs, they're falling apart. And okay, so the scenario of this, I think everyone did a great job. What? The scenario. So setting the scene, I think everyone did a great job. When J music hits, I know everyone eye was on Liv, but if you see Naomi didn't look too happy about her coming out. So like if your eyes were on Liv, you would have gotten swerved, but Naomi was a little bit and then she was like, okay, yeah, beat up Liv, and then like you said, she got mollywopped. I want like hindsight's 2020, but this is for me. This kind of compares to when Mariah May turned on Toni Storm and she beat the crap out of her. She did there was no belt whipping, but sweet baby Jesus, her just beating Naomi's head against the freaking pod and then pump kicking her and then slamming the freaking elimination door on her freaking head. It was just like, dang, got it.
right?
Like
Yeah.
everything Bianca was feeling in the pod was me. Like, stop it, Jay. This is not right. This isn't real. This isn't real. I don't like. Stop. Just let us out of this nightmare. It was done wonderfully, but in doing
Yeah.
so, it broke my heart. It broke my heart.
I agree. Yeah, I was very kind of surprised. I mean, we shouldn't be because much like you said, um, what you call it, Jade was a heel in AEW, and not that she hasn't not. I mean, to be fair, it's a very small sample, but not that she wasn't doing okay. Ultimately, as a face so far in WWE for the month and a half, she was able to be there before she got injured, or 2 months on TV. But I still feel like she probably feels more comfortable in that heel role, and that's probably her sweeter spot. So it doesn't surprise me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's a heel turn either, right? I mean, she was taken out and she thinks she knows who did it. Now it just happens to be that she thinks that Naomi did it and that Naomi happens to be a face. I don't know that this is necessarily a heel turn, nor do I think this is her way of saying I'm done with Bianca per se. Now it might be Bianca saying I'm done with you. They obviously got to have a sit down and figure out what's going on, the two of them or Naomi included. Like something has to come to this to resolve this situation. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I'm interested to see how that plays out. So no, I mean, and yeah, she put a whooping on her. I mean, I was a little surprised that it was as nasty as it was, but
Like it
yeah, I
was,
mean,
dang, stop. Like it was literally like, okay.
yeah, and I was excited for Naomi in the elimination chamber, and honestly, because of this,
Yeah.
because of this, she couldn't participate and was eliminated. So that was a little disappointing. Um, Let's see. I'm trying to
So
remember. I'm trying to find something here to see if they can, because I don't remember the exact order. I was trying to see Bianca
so
enters at 3, Roxanne at 4. But I
so
was just trying to see who got eliminated first. I don't remember
it,
exactly
so Naomi
who
technically
got
got eliminated first
eliminated.
because she couldn't compete.
Right,
It started
right,
off
right,
with
right.
Naomi. Yeah, it started off with Naomi and Liv, but then when Naomi got taken out, Bianca got inside. But of course, she's like, I don't want to do this. Let me help my friend. Then, but Liv is a heel. So she's like, nope, we got to keep going. I will say this. I think they should have waited for Jada. I don't think they should have done it at the beginning of the match because for me, and it felt like the Toronto crowd, it took a lot for them to get back into it. It felt like it was a good hot maybe 10 minutes before it got to like maybe they weren't making the hype making the crowd up well. But for me, it felt like the crowd was after the beatdown. Everybody was still like, well, we don't care about what's happening. Like, no offense, we don't care about what's happening with these chicks. We want to find out what's going on with Jade and Naomi. So it took a good 10 minutes before they got back into the actual match. So if it was me, I would have done the beat down like halfway when the match got started at the beginning of the match. Because yeah, it took them a minute for them to get it back.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I I do think that it probably served its purpose, which was making sure that it looked like Jade cost Bianca or Naomi any opportunity in the chamber, which it was, right? I mean, she didn't even get a chance
Yeah,
to do anything. So, um, yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought that worked out. I thought the chamber match itself was really good. I was extremely concerned when it came, well, disappointed and very concerned when it was um, Liv and you can hear me?
Brianna, the final two. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
What happened here? Did I lose my? I lost my camera. I don't know what happened here.
yep. No, crazy
You can
enough.
you can you, you can
Like
hear
I
me,
said,
right?
yeah, yep. I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Okay, well, I guess I won't be on camera.
Okay.
No. Good. Yeah, no, I mean, I was very, I'm not a Liv Morgan fan. I was surprised when Alexa Bliss got eliminated. I honestly thought she might win, um, just because she'd been gone for so long and she's a fan favorite when she's around, and she's a WWE favorite when she's around. Um, when she was eliminated, I was a little surprised, and then obviously I was extremely disappointed as Liv. I was happy Bianca's there in the final two, and extremely disappointed that Liv is there in the final two. So, yeah, it is what it is. Luckily for us, Bianca was able to get the win. Thank God. And now we're gonna get Bianca and Rhea at WrestleMania.
Or
So,
so
or
you have to see Raw. But either
uh,
way, you have to watch Raw.
Io and
Raw,
is it Io and Rio on Raw, right?
yeah. And
Yeah.
you got
Okay.
and Raw was very, very good this week. Very, very
Okay.
good. Um, but no, like you said, when it went down to Liv versus Bianca, there was a twinge of doubt where it's like, oh my god, they're gonna do Liv, like, cause they're like, oh, the hottest story of 2024 was Liv and Rhea, and it was like it was alright, but I thought we moved on. But when it, like you
Right.
said, when it was the bottom two, it was like, y'all gonna go back to this, please don't. And it was like, thank God, oh thank God,
Yeah, I
thank
was very
God,
happy when they went
thank
with
God,
Bianca.
Bianca. And like
Yeah.
I said in our group chat, Bianca's. even though I would love for them to conclude this. I'm pretty sure they're going to conclude this storyline with Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. But as of right now, I love that Bianca is out of the tag team picture. Like you served your time, baby girl. It's time for you to be a single star. You did your time, but now now it's time to get back in the main event. So I was very happy that she won. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was very happy. I thought the match came off well. I thought everybody looked well. I do have a complaint. As wrestling has evolved, um, if you go back and watch the '80s, some of the fakeness. I don't know how else to say it. Some of the mitigating things that you do when you pull a punch or pull a kick or stomp your foot to make a punch sound better, those kind of things, they were much more pronounced in the early days of television, in my opinion. You could see them more. It was more obvious that those things were going on, even though you only had the hard camera. And as wrestling has evolved, guys have gotten a lot better at making things
Mhm.
look much, much more real, even when they're not completely real, right?
Right.
And for a long time, the camera really helped with that because you had the hard camera and maybe one or two, and that was about it. And it helped with the added look of the new ability to make things look so much more realistic. I noticed it for the very first time, like super predominantly in both of the men and women's chamber matches. It felt like the camera was in way too close. It felt like it was on top of them, and you could see way too much of the stuff you're not supposed to be seeing. The hand not actually connecting, the foot not actually landing in the spot where it's supposed to, but we're not supposed to be able to see that. And so as much as I appreciate the evolution of the production of wrestling, I do think that we need to back the cameras up a little bit because I think it's catching more and more of those moments that we're not supposed to actually be able to see.
So no. I totally agree with you. More so on production part, I'm not sure if they're using new guys every paper premium live event or every show, but I feel like you should have your I think you should have your point person every premium live event because on this, like you said, on this show, some of the shots was like okay, like you said, back up, find your shot. More so when Bianca won and she's pointing towards the WrestleMania sign and the powers are going off. I'm like, how are you as a camera girl? I'm like, how are you not getting this shot? You know where the sign is. You know she's gonna point towards it. So why are you not getting this shot? So I'm not sure if they use a new person or not, but I do feel like you should definitely go like if you found someone that you know Kevin Dunn probably ruined it for a lot of people. But don't let that affect your next person. As in, don't try someone new every premium live event. You should have a person you trust. So please, if you have not found him yet, please go find him and stay with him because it feels like you're trying someone out new every other show, and that's not good. Especially if they don't know how to film a wrestling show.
Right. Yeah, you got to keep the camera back enough that there's still mystery in what's going on.
Yeah.
So Bianca got the win in a very solid opening women's match for the Chamber. I
Mhm.
enjoyed it all. I thought it came off really good. The Jade part, like you said, maybe at the beginning or even at the end, whatever, or But either way, I enjoyed it. I thought Jade. I was happy Jade came back. I mean, I'm a little disappointed she went after Naomi. It would have been really fun to see her put that same whooping on Liv, but
Right?
you know, I guess it is what it is, and like I said, I haven't seen. Well, they're on SmackDown, so we'll see on SmackDown what they say, what ends up
Uh huh.
happening on SmackDown, what they have to say about it. So,
Yep.
let's see. We had our second match, which was honestly, I thought, even though I didn't think it was terrible for what it was my least favorite moment of the show, uh,
I
which
did not
was
care.
Tiffany and Trish versus Nia and Candice. And it's unfortunate because I really like Nia and I like Candice. And
Yes.
I'm not like I don't dislike Tiffany. I mean, I'm not I'm not a Strattonite. I'm not a stand for
Mhm.
Tiffany in any way, shape, or form. But I can see the potential. I don't hate her. I don't dislike her for any reason. And Trish is a Hall of Famer, and I'm always happy to see Trish. That being said, I understand why they did this match. I think it would have been better if it had been a singles match for the title instead of just a tag team match. Um, either let Candice
Yes.
LeRae have a title shot or, run Nia and Tiffany for the belt or something. I don't know. But this, I understand why Trish is there. It's in Canada. I get it. I understand why you do this. You have basically the Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, Tiffany Stratton feud going on, of which Trish has interjected herself. So, I get it. Or I guess they attacked Trish and Tiffany interjected herself. However you want to announce it. Nia and them were taking people out. One of them was Trish and Tiffany tried, whatever the case may be. Nia and Tiffany have this ongoing story because that's who Tiffany cashed in on, right? So,
Yeah.
um, Nia wants her belt back, and I would have been happier with them running that back, or even Candice versus Tiffany for the title, as opposed to this. That being said, it was fine for what it was. I just didn't really care. The match came off fine. Trish looked good for what she does. She still has the athletic ability to do the things that she does. And the other three women are all good. I mean, Nia has that big wrestler problem in my estimation, which is sometimes it looks really hard. It's even with good camera angles, it's obvious that they're holding back because with how big they are, that if it was real full force, that it would be killing these people. So,
Yeah.
so it makes it a little hard. That was one of my issues with the Big Show. I love the Big Show, but it's like his hand is twice as big as your face. If he actually hits you, he's going to crush your whole face. Like there's no, and yet he's supposed to be giving you 15 right hands in a match, and it's like, you'd be dead. So, and I get that it's not that, but at the same time, I think it's harder for the bigger wrestlers, at least in my opinion, to make it look as good. And Nia has some of that issue sometimes, but she's still great. I still love her. So, what do you think of this match in general? And Tiffany and Trish getting the win.
I do not disagree with anything you just said. I do not care about this match. No offense. It felt like I'm not sure the conversation was of we need to get Trish Stratus on the show because yay Canada, fine. But no, I don't like I did not care about this match. I love, like you said, I love Nia. I love Candice LeRae. And it feels like after Nia lost the belt, you don't know what to do with her, which is very much so unfortunate because for me, I enjoyed Nia as as SmackDown Women's Champion. Sorry, I don't care the World Universal. She was SmackDown Women's Champion. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So for them just to have her drop it and it feels like now she's just losing is very much so unfortunate, especially when you're this close to WrestleMania. Uh, okay, so I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I am tired of blonde versus blonde. I'm tired of blondes on my television screen. If you do not have a personality, that is just me. I've lived through the Divas era. I'm done with it. I really am. So you're having Tiffany and Trish together. Fine. You're doing Tiffany versus Charlotte. Fine. For the people who love it, have at it. But for me in my house, I don't care. So this really was if I went to this show, this would have been a bathroom break. Like I said, I want more for Nia. I'm not sure what you do with Nia because I do like WrestleMania should be who your top stars of last year. This should be their moment. And she was a top star of last year. And I don't like that she might not be at WrestleMania. That is very much unfortunate and that really sucks.
Yeah,
Like I
I
said,
agree.
that's fine if you care about it.
Right. Let's see. We then had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn
Woo!
in an unsanctioned match in which, I mean, these two did everything they could possibly do to try to unalive each other. Um,
It
I
was an
said before this,
unsanctioned match.
I said this before the match, that I didn't know that we've seen these guys new enough times that I wasn't totally sure what kind of meat was left on the bone, what more they could possibly do. And I feel like they still took it to not necessarily a whole nother level, but they still brought it and it was still a lot of fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan. Um,
Mm.
I I think that for me personally, I think I've started to see the tread on the tires a little bit the last year and a half, just in some of his athletic ability in the ring. He doesn't move quite as fluidly as he did 5, 10 years ago. Most people don't as they age, but I'm just saying I feel like I've noticed that a little bit with him. It seems like he's a hair slower. His movements are, not quite as fluid as they used to be. He's resorted to a little bit smaller a move set. I think because his cardio isn't 100%, isn't as great, and he's always been a heavy set guy. So, cardio, I'm sure, has always been a slight issue, but he's always also been one of those guys that could really perform at a high level despite his size and body structure. So, that being said, I didn't have that feeling at all in this match. It felt like the Kevin Owens that we had almost, maybe even 10 years ago. And Sammy, was great. The only issue that I had with this was the way it came out at the end. I really thought Sami Zayn should have got the win, but other than that, I I guess I get it. I get it because what they're going to do is run it back at WrestleMania, and Sammy will get the win at WrestleMania,
Well,
probably.
I don't think so. So okay, let's
No,
talk about the match.
what happened on Raw?
Um,
What happened on Raw?
no, nothing on Raw. Well,
Oh,
Randy Orton came back.
oh yeah. You're right. I
So
forgot. Yes,
I
yes.
think for
Thank you.
WrestleMania they're going to do KO versus
Oh,
Orton.
KO and Orton. Yeah, KO and Orton. Yes, you're right. I totally blanked that out. You're right. Randy Orton did come back, and he went
Mhm.
after KO. Him and KO. He was about to punt kick KO, and then the refs and security guys stopped him and all that stuff. Um, I was saying that yes, because my friend said, he said I thought we were going to get Sammy, and when the match ended, I thought we were going to get Sammy and KO again at WrestleMania, and then Orton came in, and now obviously we're going to get Orton and KO at WrestleMania. What does that mean for Sammy? Does that mean Sammy doesn't have anything to do at WrestleMania? And I said, make it a triple threat somehow. Now that Orton came back, I don't know, somehow work the story. There's some way to work that story and make it a triple threat for the three of them at WrestleMania. That I'd be here for. Um,
Yeah, no,
so
like you said,
you got to do
again, the
something with
same.
Sammy.
Yeah, the same sentiment with Nia. Whereas, like, Sammy was your main star. He was probably in all of the top main events of Raw slash SmackDown late last year for Bloodline War Games, and it really is like, oh, now you don't have anything for him. How is this? How is this possible? Now, granted, I give Triple H some grace because a certain Samoan black man comes in and ruin your plans. So you can't really you really can't what you call it have plans for the future. You have to change it up. But on the flip side of it is it's Sammy though. Sammy's not gonna be at WrestleMania. That hurts. That if that's what's going on, that's gonna hurt like hell. But like you said, this match was great. I had no doubt that Sammy and KO were going to battle it out. And like I said, when we all say unsanctioned, they're like, but it's WWE. Like, how much are they going to do? Well, it's KO and Sammy in WWE, and they did darn near everything except bleed. I think did they bleed? They might have. I think KO might have bled. I'm not sure.
I mean, they definitely used barbed wire. I don't remember for sure if there was
Bruh,
blood. I'm trying to remember, but
the
yeah,
the face
the
plant
top.
into the barbed wire chair. It's like, how do you kick out? No. That match is over. I don't care. No. My face went into barbed wire. Match gone.
Yeah,
Match done.
yeah.
I lost. I'm good. I'm fine. Whatever. But no, we're gonna keep going. You're gonna power bomb me in the ring apron because that's your signature move, taking people out like a crackhead that you are. Yes. So yeah, no. It was a sanctioned match fit for the title of unsanctioned match. I loved it. Randy coming back again. I like again. Like, I'm sorry. Randy, even babyface Randy doesn't do it for me. No offense, it doesn't. I get, like you said, I get the story because it was KO to come out, so fine, do it. But for WrestleMania, no, this does nothing for me. I hope KO beats Randy if you want my 2 cents. But you don't pay me, so you probably don't. But as a match, this was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I do think that even though I'm not the biggest Randy Orton fan, it wasn't like I thought to myself at any point, "Where's Randy been?" But when he came back, I thought, "Okay, it's nice to have Randy
Yeah,
Orton back."
sure.
I mean, I he's a solid wrestler. He has good matches. He's a good storyteller, and he's a main event guy that belongs in the main event picture. So it expands that main event picture a little bit, which has been a little that talent pool, which has been a little shallow. So him coming back is fun, and him and KO should be fun. And we'll see if Sammy can somehow, I don't know. Sammy's mad that him and KO are going to have a match at WrestleMania, so Sammy tries to take Orton out, and then Orton decides that he wants them. I don't know. Somehow they interject Sammy into it. Somehow
Like
he's got to get his way into it.
in my brain, make it a no DQ, make it a no DQ match, and Sam can come out and get his look back and help Randy beat KO. I'll
There
be
you
fine
go.
with that.
Yeah, or come out and beat them both up. Either way, whatever the case may be. But no, I thought this was really solid. I mean, even though this was by far, this was by far the best match of the show, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. I mean, I don't know. I
No,
think
you're
that
right. Don't go to shit. Thinks it was.
no, I was just gonna say, I think the closing segment of the men's chamber or the closing segment of the show. Sorry, not men's chamber. The closing segment of the show may have been, I don't know. A lot of people may have considered that the best part of the night, but I thought this was the best match. And even with Orton coming back, I thought it was the best part of the night. So I enjoyed that. Although Jade coming back was better than Randy's comeback. So for what it was, just
Way
because I
better.
thought it was whatever.
Yeah.
But Randy Orton came back. Kevin Owens beat Sami Zayn in a very solid, unsanctioned match in which they both tried to unalive each other. Barbed wire, chairs, tables, all sorts of stuff, everything you can imagine. And they both looked the worse for the wear when the match was over, for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I thought they put on a show. And then we only had one more match left because the final segment was basically a segment. Um, so the last match of the night was the men's elimination chamber match, which was extremely star-studded.
It was.
It started off. I'm trying to remember who were the first two. Do you remember who the first two were off
Seth
the top of your head?
and Drew McIntyre.
Seth and Drew. That's right. Yep. And they went at it for a while. And then let's see, Damian Priest came in at 3, and then Logan Paul at 4. Cena at 5 and Punk at 6. And then once
So
they
let
were
me say
all
this.
in,
Maybe because we are used to Royal Rumble. I think that was the time people come in. Like it felt like it was too slow for people to enter the match. I know it's only 6 entrances, but still, it was like, dang, go yeah, it's still 2 people. When are the next people gonna come inside? Dang.
now don't get me wrong, I know I'm colorblind and I'm old, so I can't see anyhow, and it is what it is. But like they could do something to make when they're determining who's coming out of the next pod a little more obvious. That top shot
They
with just the green on it. Like I understand the one gets greener and whatever, but it's like it still took me a second to realize who was coming out
yeah,
sometimes. I was like, which one's
they
it? It should be like bright blinking red or something. Like, I mean, there should be no question about it. Like
like so they lit it up. It was red line, but it wasn't like a flashing yeah, it
right.
should be like a little like a circle or something. Yeah.
So Drew was the first person eliminated, which really honestly surprised me. I was really surprised. Cena came in And as he had promised, he wanted to take out Cena. So he turned and focused his attention on Cena, hit him with a Claymore. And then right after he basically hit him with a Claymore, was it Damian Priest? Seth Rollins.
Mhm.
Damian Priest. Damian Priest?
Yep.
Damian Priest rolled him up in a little crucifix pin out of nowhere and got him out, got the 3 count. And Drew was the first one eliminated. What do you think about Drew being eliminated first?
I loved it. It goes with the Drew storyline of this whole year, which basically you're so tunnel blind and you're not focused on the main thing that you basically screw yourself. So, and he sold it, and he sold it well when he actually was like, "No, that didn't happen." And you go to the WrestleMania, so I'm like, "Yep, you're not going to that, buddy." And then you got all mad. It's like, "Yeah, I'm not." I'm not. He's like, I'm not really sure how many times you got to go through this, pal. But yes, every time, no one's screwing you, but you. You have to focus. And if you go back to SmackDown, Damian Priest predicted that he was like, listen, he's like, listen, you're so focused on him, that's how you're gonna get freaking eliminated. And he was the reason why. And again, if y'all want to do Damian versus Drew, no matter how many people are saying it's a step down, that would be perfect for WrestleMania.
No, I think Damian versus Drew would be fun. I don't have any problem with that. I think that would be good. That would be a solid match.
Yeah.
They're both superstars, and they've got a bone now. Drew has a bone to pick with Damian, and they have a little history anyhow. So, yeah, I mean, I would be here for that. Absolutely. Uh, Actually, that was before. So that was right before CM Punk came in. Then CM Punk came in, went right after Logan Paul. Had a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of back and forth, and then CM Punk put Logan Paul to sleep and eliminated Logan Paul, which was interesting. And we were down to Cena, Punk, and Rollins, which I was very. I mean, for final three, okay, as someone that didn't want Cena to win the whole time, I'm getting more and more nervous because
Oh.
as people are getting eliminated, I'm like, and he's still there? Fuck. You know what I mean? And then, fuck, we're going to actually, this is going to happen, isn't it? Shit. And then, but that being said, I, I don't care for Cena anymore. And I haven't for a long time. And even looking back on him, I'm surprised that I really ever did because when I watch him now, even the old days, I'm like, wow, I really liked him like that because I did for a minute. I was a big Cena fan, nonetheless. And I don't like CM Punk, but when Seth was out and they had their first face to face, and it was
Heck
like,
yeah.
see, I got a little bit of goosebumps. I can't lie, and I don't even like either guy.
Yes.
And I was like, let's fucking go, let's do this. Like I was hyped for a minute. So, and then obviously Seth came in and interrupted and whatever the case may be. But Seth got eliminated, and then it beat Cena and Punk at the end. Anyhow, I'm very, 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 very surprised that they went. Like, okay, let me rephrase that. I knew Cena was going to win the title at some point, probably during this final little run. I had a feeling that was a pretty foregone conclusion. They're going to give him that 17th title. He's going to be the one with the most.
Mm-hmm.
They're already calling him the GOAT, blah, blah, blah. So I thought that was a foregone conclusion. I never really, in my wildest imagination, really thought they were going to have John Cena go over CM Punk in the Elimination Chamber in the end like that. Like, I really didn't until it happened. I was like, oh shit! Like, I still thought CM Punk was going to get the win there. I didn't know how it was going to play out. I knew Cena was going to have a match at WrestleMania for the title. I just still in my mind somewhere I thought CM Punk is getting this win here, and obviously he didn't, and John Cena did. Man, the AA is so ugly. Like it just, oh man. Hell no. Let me tell you. So I did see something. So he had the STF on Punk the first
Yes.
time, and he was doing the normal, terrible John Cena arms way too extended. Doesn't look like he's doing anything to the guy around his face. STF, right? And Punk made it to the ropes or something and was able to. He was able to get out. I forget how it. Maybe
He
Seth
kicked
broke it
out.
up. I don't remember what happened.
So Cena was trying to drag his foot, and CM Punk basically kicked him off of him. And while
Okay.
And then when Punk was trying to get back into, trying to compose himself, Rollins, who freaking should have left already, came out of nowhere and curb stumped freaking and then curb stumped Punk. Oh, Punk! Like, and then side note, like, sir, okay, this has been going on for definitely like a year and a half. Like, maybe it's just me, but I'm like, why do you hate Punk again? Like, I need a refresher. I need a refresher why stuff hates Punk this much. I'm like, sir, I think you need to get over it. That's just me, but I digress.
Then when he thumped the second STF in for the actual win and the ultimate end, he had it finally for the first time ever in his career. He
Yes,
did it the
yeah,
right way. He had
yeah.
the
He
helmet
was
under the chin, and it
like he
actually
was
looked like it was twisting.
like
I was like,
it was a bear hug. It was all
silly.
up in here.
It only took you 25-year career to get it right one time, but you got it right at least one time, Cena. So
The pure
I'll give him that.
desperation.
I'll give
Yeah,
him that. That final STF at least looked good for the first
yes, it
time.
is.
So and it looked good enough to the point where it made sense that Punk went to sleep. So I'm not overly happy with the fact that John Cena got the win, but it is what it is. Cena
Yeah,
is going to WrestleMania
yeah.
against
I'm
Cody
not
Devontae Rhodes.
surprised. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but I was. It would have been a more interesting match for me if it was Punk versus Cody. Again, no offense, but nothing in this Cena run is going to do it for me. Where I'm like, oh, I'm going to Cena big on TV does not make me change the channel to watch wrestling. Is what I'm trying to say.
So
And real quick, I'm like, I'm not like, but they look like they're trying to set up Cody versus Punk, and it's like, why are y'all waiting? No offense, but it feels like y'all are really hoping and putting money that everybody's gonna remain healthy for next Mania. And for the past 3 years, we've freaking more often than not that didn't happen. So I'm very like, okay, all right, y'all roll the dice on. Hopefully everybody be good next year, but it's on y'all. Do y'all?
so Cena got the win. The chambers lifted, and we're into our final segment of the night, which is I think Cody Rhodes comes out and
Yes,
he's in the ring with his belt, and him and
but
Cena, I think, shake hands and he congratulates him, and then The Rock's music hits.
yeah.
And here comes The Rock, and I swear to God, had to be the absolute worst. I mean, Seth Rollins has had some outfits. That had to be the absolute worst outfit I have ever seen. Those pants started flaring at the knee. Those were the big, I mean, you could have packed a family under each pant leg. Like, those were the biggest bell bottoms I've seen since John Fogerty in the 70s. And that top was terrible. Like, really?
So it
Look at
was basically the black version of his outfit at WrestleMania Night 2. If you remember
Oh my
night
God.
2, it was all white with bell bottoms, and he came down with the belt. Now it's all black with bell bottoms. So
Oh
so
my
this
God.
is his heel
Oh my
outfit.
God.
He'll
Almost.
he'll rock wear bell bottoms.
So Rock gets in the ring, does his little walk around. Cody looks at him. Oh, I forgot. He's accompanied by Travis Scott. He's accompanied by Travis Scott, who's got a belt
The
as well.
theme song of WrestleMania. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry.
And he is clearly in the Rock's corporate corner. So they come out together. He's got a belt. The Rock's got his Cody's Soul White. Uh, what is it called? Weightlifter's belt. That's what it's called.
Cody's
Weightlifter belt.
soul belt underneath his vest. Yes.
So he walks around, looks at Cody a little bit, and then says, Cody basically, as he's done this whole time, rambled for a little bit, doesn't it almost like he's not totally sure what he wants to say all the time in this situation. Like, it almost feels like he's not 100% comfortable, maybe just with this particular, like, I don't know, because this feels like the hardest he's had at talking, like as far as getting to a point. Normally, The Rock is not short on words, but he's not like a rambler per se. And it feels like
So,
he's been rambling about this a lot, like in this
so
situation a lot.
someone brought it up, and they might have a point. When he was going up against Cena back in 2012, and he does the promo, and evidently he has his promo written on his hand. And Cena basically the dick and points it out in front of everybody. It feels like after that he stopped writing his promos, and Cena, this is your fault. So I feel like after that he stopped writing down his promos, and that's why he's rambly as hell. Someone pointed out, it's like, oh, that probably is true. Oh, Cena,
Brilliant.
you dick. Now this is your fault. That's why we have to suffer through Rock going through all this, because you won't let him freaking write down his promos anymore, you punk.
So The Rock comes in, rambles a little bit, and says to Cody, "What's your decision?" And Cody says, "You know, I don't have my soul. My soul is not my own." And The Rock smiles, and he thinks he's implying that he's giving it to The Rock. And The Rock says, or Cody says, "I gave it to the fans and to wrestling a long time ago, so it's not available anymore." Essentially, and he basically looked at The Rock and said, "Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself." Which I was like, "Holy shit!" So holy shit, like what?
Like they didn't
Like
move jack.
nope, they
Like,
sure
oh,
didn't. Thank God for
we're
pay-per-views. I was
legit
like,
TV 14 now.
yep. And everyone was obviously shocked. And Cena's reaction in the back was brilliant. Like Cena
I
told it
think that was
perfectly.
real.
You
I
think it
think
was
that
real?
was real. I think that took him out of it. I'm like, oh, he's like, oh shoot. I think Cena was like, oh shoot. Yeah, see, that was a real reaction from Cena. You can't tell me any different.
But Cena's reaction was brilliant. And then he basically turned and looked at Cena, and Cena and Cody went hug each other, and
They hug each
then
other. We're doing it at Mania, brother.
yeah, and then what? Tell us, Anika. Then what happened?
So, like you said, so I'm Cena. Cody's hugging Cena, and Rock is facing me. And Rock does. And no, you was so dramatic with this. Like, sir, you did like a freaking Joker slit and try to do all
Right?
up and through the back here while you try. So I'm like, sir, just do this.
Yeah, and it looked terrible.
You spreading mayonnaise across your face.
First of all, who does it with two fingers? Nobody ever does it with two fingers, right? Like, yeah, that looked really dumb, and he did it way up. Yeah, it would have been better the solo style with the thumb just across his throat. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that was way overdone.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, The Rock has not been himself in these last little segments, like these few segments. He, like I said, the promos haven't been as tight. That little body language wasn't as tight. You know what I mean? It's like he's
Yeah.
not 100% sharp on his game at the moment. So, but yes, he gave the little signal. And then what happened, Anika?
And so smiling Cena turned into grumpy Cena. Where come on. Yeah, smiling Cena was grumpy Cena. And then he freaking and then he hit Cody in the dick. And like, no, what's going on? And he attacks Cena. And it's like, oh my god. He takes off the Rolex Cody was having, not brass knucks, Michael Cole, a Rolex. Like, sir, okay, no offense, but what are you watching? This is clearly a watch in his hand. Like, even though, like, it is not brass knucks. I'm sorry, Michael Cole, but
Did they not plan this out before backstage where Michael Cole knew that they were going to use the fucking Rolex? Like, why would he be doing brass knuckles?
So there is a report that not a lot of people knew this was going to happen, but either way, Pat said a Rolex. So like, just look at the freaking monitor in front of you. That's a watch. That is not brass knucks. That's a watch he's using to beat him down with. But we digress. And so he's just going to town for on Cody. And he gets the microphone, he bops him in the head, and so then he has him laid out and trapped. Okay, look, if you're gonna have celebrity, I think please tell a celebrity what he's supposed to do, because Travis didn't know what he was supposed to do. He's holding Cody's head. He's holding Cody's head, and Cena's like, no. He lays down for this because we're about to do something. Like, okay, and then he just smacks the side of Cody's face, and reports said actually like he actually hurt Cody because he didn't do it right. I'm like, see, like, sir, if you don't know, you know what? I'm being too hard on the celebrity. Like I said, the celebrity, please tell the celebrity what to do. You can't wing it with someone who's not a freaking wrestler. But
Yeah.
either way, so Cody's down, and then here comes Rock taking off the belt that says Cody's Soul. And I know if I think Cody's kinky. Like, it feels like he likes this crap. Again, like, this is the 5th time you got hit in the back with a belt, sir. I need you to get your life together, because it feels like you like this at this point in time. No offense, but I digress. So Brock says hitting Cody's back, and it's like, there's again some stuff you can't protect yourself with. It's like you just gotta take it, and it's like, stop, that's hurting my back. So again, it's like he whips Cody. He gets the blood off of Cody's head, because of course Cody has to bleed, and he rubs the blood on Cody's he rubs Cody's blood off of Cody's Soul's puts on Cody's Soul's belt. During this scenario, I'm not sure if it was before or after, but Cena gets the belt, the World Heavyweight Championship, Universal. He holds it up against him. He freaking tosses it over his, like, stop hitting his back. We still need to make sure everybody's good for Mania. So stop tossing stuff. And officially they leave. We got heel Cena versus babyface Cody for WrestleMania 41.
I mean, I understand to a certain extent why you do this. You've got to have it.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but heel versus babyface always sells better. Now they
Yes,
have
yes.
some meat on the bone for Cody to be really upset with John Cena. You have this situation where you have The Rock say to Cena, if Cody doesn't do it, I'll give you the same opportunity. And Cena
Mm-hmm.
saying, I shouldn't, but it's my last chance. I really want that 17th title
Yes,
belt. And so in some regards, in that regard, it makes sense.
yes.
And I get it. Like this, I believe somewhere in his heart of hearts, Triple H saw this John Cena heel turn as similar to the Hollywood Hogan NWO heel turn. I mean, this is a dude that has been preaching all the right things for an umpteen amount of years. I mean, I think at this point he had become even probably a
Of
bigger
course.
babyface than Hogan had, even in his prime. Although it's debatable, they're definitely the two biggest. And so turning him is that his Hulk Hogan moment to a certain extent, that super babyface turning heel. I just don't. For me, it makes sense for Hulk Hogan because we know he's a piece of shit. So it makes sense. And I'm not saying that we don't think John Cena might be or may not be, whatever the case may be. I personally think he's a little bit less of a piece of shit than Hogan. But
Yeah.
I just feel like it just felt to me like this was something that he would never do. It was just too far out of character at this point. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm not saying I'm not here for it. I'm not saying that it doesn't make the match more interesting. I'm just saying I think it's a very interesting career choice for John Cena at this point to say to Triple H or The Rock or whoever it is that approached me about it, I'm okay with turning heel now. Because he's been approached about it before over the last 15 or 20 years since he's been babyface, and he's probably said no. Otherwise, I'm sure it would have happened
Well,
before.
so here's the thing. After the once in a lifetime, it should state once in a lifetime. 2012 against The Rock the first time. It should have been the only time. He said it's in the Chris Bland Bleep interview. He was going to turn heel. He said he had new gear. He had a new theme song. He was revved up and ready to go turn heel. But Vince said no. And Vince kind of punked him out of it, saying, if you turn heel, you can never turn back babyface. We're just like, dude, screw you. Because I know offense. That's probably the biggest lie on the planet. That if you turn heel, you can never turn back babyface. That is probably the biggest lie ever that you could have told that man. So when Vince gave him an ultimatum of if you turn heel, you take back babyface, I think he said no to it, and that's why you get Super Cena for an overextended amount of time. But he did want to turn heel in 2012, but Vince punked him out of it, and that's really unfortunate. So for me, I think because like I said, we have a whole year, right?
Unfortunate, because honestly, like even though I think it came off okay for what it was, I don't like heel Cena. I didn't like heel Cena before. I mean, in the first iteration of Doctor of Thugonomics, or he was, I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked rapping Cena, but I wasn't a fan of him in that real cocky heelish guy role before. Like, I he is the embodiment of those working class ethics, those things that make you whatever. And to change that, it just doesn't feel right for him either. And he watching him do it, I thought it came up okay. I still don't think he looked like he felt comfortable.
Oh no,
The
it took him a
face
minute. Yeah,
the face is not his angry face is not great. You can tell he's
it's
not super
not.
comfortable doing that face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that you'll never convince me that even if he wanted to be heel in 2012, that he's really comfortable with being the guy that's booed. I just don't believe that. There's something about John Cena. I just don't believe that. I think he likes being cheered more than other guys in that regard. I think, and so it's very surprising to me. Again, I don't necessarily think it's a terrible idea, and I think it came off okay, even though he didn't look overly comfortable doing it. I think it came off
yeah,
okay. He kind of grew into it a little bit, but even then, his angry
yeah.
face and his heel face is not very good. To be fair, he hasn't done one in 17 years. I don't even know when was he a heel? 2000 and
Well, even
I don't even
I
know.
remember when it was he was a face, but he was mad Kane, and he stared down the barrel of the camera, and he was trying to do a match. I'm like, so even as a face, even in general, Cena's not good at a mad face, not even a heel
No,
face.
he's not.
It's a mad face. But I was gonna say, I'll say this. Dang it, what was I gonna say? Give me a minute. Bop, bop, bop. I do not think that he's comfortable yet, but let's go back to him being wanting to do it in 2012. I feel like at least give him a chance. Like because
Yeah.
he said in the interview, no one is perfect all the time. So just having that conflict of morals for like not even a heel, like you said, a conflict of morals, and let's ride out with it just a little bit. I feel like you should at least give him a chance to tell us. There we go, to tell a story. Let's just throw out this. I'm gonna turn being a bad guy. Let's tell a story of, hey, I don't want to be perfect right now. I'm just gonna kick somebody behind. Let's just try it out. And so I'm here. Like I said, he. I feel like with the reps, it's gonna get better. And let's just ride it out. Because the main thing is to just face Cena and face Cody at Mania. I for darn sure was going to be part. Like that for darn sure was going to do nothing for me. Like straight up, that was going to do jack squat. Like
I was just about to say, does this make his run a little more juicy and spicy for you?
it hikes it up. I'm at least invested a little bit more than what I was. Than if it was going to be two faces against each other. Yeah.
Do you remember when Hogan turned?
So I don't know.
No, you don't remember that?
No. So crazy enough, in my lifetime, Hollywood Hogan was Hollywood Hogan. I did not
Okay.
know of a red and yellow all-American hero crackhead emotionally until after he faced Rock in 2020 in 2001 or
Okay.
2000.
Okay.
So when
So
he,
you
I'm like,
couldn't
so
see
I
the
asked my dad like,
actual
why
heel
is he?
turn, and
He was just Hollywood
yeah,
Hogan, and I'm like,
yeah.
yeah. My dad was like, yeah, he used to be a good guy. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, he
Well,
was all
yeah, because
red and mustard and everything.
it really feels like this was kind of Triple H's moment to do to take a huge baby face like a Hogan and turn him, because that doesn't happen very often, right? You get these guys most of the time, I mean, as far as when they're that big a baby face. So, um, for me, it didn't have the same impact. But to be fair, I'm almost 40. I'm almost 50 now, and I was like 10 then. So, well, I was older than 10. I was probably 19. I don't remember. It was WCW, so I must have been in my
It's
teenage years. So, whatever year that was,
yeah,
1995 or something, whatever it was, that
and
Hogan turned to Hollywood Hogan and showed up on WCW.
like when it comes to these heel turns, it's more impactful if you're younger. Like for your generation, it was Hulk Hogan. For me, it was Stone Cold. Like I remember, I didn't watch that Mania, but I tuned into Monday Night Raw, and they're showing the clips. And it's like, I'm sorry, why is he shaking Vince's hand? I'm sorry, what happened last night? I'm sorry. Why isn't he here to explain? What the freak is going on? Like it really like it threw my mind to a loop. What the freak is going on, sir? And like, what?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You're saying Austin's will fix. This is dumb. Why did y'all do this? Like that was my opus for Triple H. Cena's old. I think if for anybody for him to turn heel, it will probably be Cody. I think that will be his era of of the biggest babyface turning heel is when Cody turns heel.
yeah,
If that ever happens.
right. Yep. So we get Cena and The Rock definitely clearly in cahoots. Cena is going to be his corporate champion, I suppose, when he takes the belt from Cody at WrestleMania. We'll
I
see how this plays out. I don't know what this is going to actually end up looking like as far as the storyline goes at this point, but you think Cody at WrestleMania is going to be right? I mean it's got to happen now.
I so
Or do you
I
think Cody
don't
gets the
know.
win because of what's happened?
Like I really don't know. Oh, because like you said, for this to be a whole year. It really is like what will be the story for the whole year. And
Right.
I think I'll probably be more into Cena trying to get it at the very, very last minute than he gets it at Mania and Cena is my champ. Like, yeah, no. Cena being champ until whatever SummerSlam or Survivor Series, I'm not feeling that. So I would rather have him lose and him still go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And him
Yeah,
trying to
and I
fight
think
it. Yeah, him trying to win it at the very, very, very last minute.
yeah, I can see that, and then having just a very short run with it, or vacating it after he's whatever won it because it's the end of the year or something. I don't know what he would do, but yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want a summer of Rock with the title. I mean, a Rock Cena with the title, like that doesn't really do a whole lot for me.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, it's
but
like, no offense. I know that you can just pair them up together. But like you said, besides, I will be involved. I will be hyped for Cena versus Punk. But besides that, there's nothing else that hypes me up for Cena in the match against anybody.
right,
I'm sorry. That'll probably be the
yeah.
only thing that will hype me up for Cena. Cena versus Punk.
Who is Cena's biggest rival? Is it The Rock or is it CM Punk?
Against those two is CM Punk. It's CM Punk. Even though, yeah, they hit like. Cause no offense, the if you go back in time, the setup for 28, which is WrestleMania 27, that sucked because it's like, hold up, you're gonna make us wait a whole other year, and then 28 comes. That was decent. I loved it. But then you ran it back for 29, and it's like you called it once in a lifetime, sirs and ma'ams. So why? So
You're
why
doing it a
are we
second
doing it
time?
twice? If it's once in a freaking lifetime. So yeah, as like and Cena and Punk just what you call it. They had more matches and they had a better story. So if you're saying who's the better rival between those two, it's definitely Punk.
I mean, I definitely, if it comes down to who he's going to wrestle again or would be his final match potentially, I mean, I'm much more interested in CM Punk versus what you call it, Cena than I am versus like say Rock versus Cena
So
again.
I don't think
Um,
Rock is wrestling this year at all. Like
okay.
yeah, and to that I say they did a good job of okay, you're not wrestling. Let's use you in some capacity. This is a good job to use them. This is a good way to use them.
Yeah, I suppose overall, I guess we can see that. All right. So, what do you think overall? Just the show in general. Give it a grade. We like to grade things here. Give it a grade. What would you give
I'll
this show if you were grading it?
I'll give it a B. Like you said, the what you call it? The angle with Jade and Naomi just threw me off. I love that Bianca won. KO and Sammy, you can never go wrong with them. And the men's elimination chamber was good. It was good. I'm trying to think like even last year. I don't remember who won last year, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, yeah, I don't remember either,
Was
honestly. So
it
yeah,
might have been Drew?
you're
We'll say Drew because he was in the main event, so we'll say Drew. But I don't remember. But I don't remember last year's men's elimination chamber. So this was yeah. So a solid B.
yeah. I mean, I B's a fair grade. I wasn't totally sure what to give it. I mean, I don't. It's obviously the Tiffany match. That was a down segment. Um, I John Cena winning. I mean, they did it in such a way that it does ultimately make sense in the way that the way that they're telling the story. That it makes sense because now we have a heel opponent for Cody, um, and uh, I'm
We
sorry. I was looking here. It, did Logan Paul win last year? RKO. Here's Paul to knock him out with the brass knuckles, mostly out cold. Wait, yeah,
now
did
Logan
Logan?
Paul. No, he didn't win because the main
We're down to
event.
oh no. Okay, we're down to Orton and McIntyre with the Future Shock and RKO being blocked. The Hang DDT McIntyre, the Claymore's loaded up, but Orton collapses before anything can launch. Orton is back up with an RKO. The mostly out cold McIntyre. Okay, Randy pins. Okay, Orton pins Drew. So Randy Orton, I guess, won the Elimination Chamber last year. Does that sound right?
No, Randy Orton, no, because he wasn't in the main event. So no.
Well, I'm reading this thing here. Open it says.
So like okay, so unless the elimination
Hold on.
chamber was not for the main event of WrestleMania, which is kind of the reason why you had elimination chamber, yeah, it can't be Randy.
Well,
And
look at
no
here. It
offense, I
says
forgot Logan Paul was in last year's chamber.
so. The Women's Elimination Chamber. Bear with me. I'm looking here. It says
I remember the
KOD
women's
beyond. Uh,
because Tiffany eliminated
okay.
Naomi, and that pissed me off. Because like, why do you? Because Naomi got eliminated first.
Becky
And it's
Lynch
like,
got the win
ugh,
over Liv Morgan. Becky Lynch got the win over Liv Morgan.
yeah, that makes sense. And because yeah,
Right, okay, so Becky Lynch got the win.
that makes
Uh,
yeah.
so men's elimination chamber. I was out. Well, Bobby Lashley comes in at 4. Logan Paul comes in at 6. Owens jumps him. Owens and Paul go at it. Blah blah blah. LA Knight stomps Drew McIntyre. Swanton gives Orton a 2 on Orton, but Owens a 2 on McIntyre. But McIntyre blocks it. Logan Paul is down. McIntyre and Orton have a big stare down, but Orton wins a slug out. Paul sends Orton to the buckle only to get crotched on top. McIntyre neck breaks Orton, but gets high crossbody by Paul. Paul's the first up. RKO. Orton, let's see. Okay. Paul is up and whips out the brass knuckles, but spends so long looking at them that Orton gets the RKO for the elimination
Yep,
of Jake
that
Paul.
sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
So down to Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre is the final two. It says McIntyre with the Future Shock DDT and RKO both being blocked. The hanging DDT puts McIntyre down, but he's back up with a spine buster, cutting off the RKO. Drew hits a Drew sets up for a Claymore, but Randy collapses before he sets the kickoff. Orton stands back up real quick, hits an RKO, but Logan Paul knocks him out with the
Yep.
brass knuckles. Oh, okay. McIntyre pins Orton. The mostly out cold McIntyre gets the pin at 36 minutes. So McIntyre got the win. Drew did win with the pin on Randy Orton. Sorry it took
So
forever to get there, but that's what happened.
no, that definitely ring bells. That I actually remember all that. But that should tell you that was a very mid elimination chamber last year.
Right, for sure. 100%. So B, yeah, I'm trying to think. B B B B B B B B B B B B B. There was nothing egregious in this, but other than Orton and other than Owens and Sami Zayn, there wasn't anything that I was completely. I mean, seeing Cena turn, I guess, was very shocking. But other than that, there wasn't anything that I thought was super like, whoa. Well, Jade attacking Naomi was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nothing egregious, but there was nothing that was like, wow, this is, like it would have to be like an amazing show. I mean, KO and Sammy was really good, but they were definitely the best match tonight. Yeah, I think B's a fair. I think B's a fair grade. I'll agree with Anika and we'll give it a B. So we'll both give it a B. It was a very solid show. I enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot to talk about. I thought they did a good job with both Jade's return and Randy's return. And even though it makes sense storyline wise, it doesn't necessarily make sense Cena career line wise. But whatever the case may be, the main event and the new story with Cody and Cena and heel Cena does, I think, works better for WrestleMania. Even though I didn't want John Cena to win,
Yeah.
and I was disappointed that Logan Paul had as good a showing, I guess, in the chamber as he did. So
That's gonna be his
and
career in wrestling. It's like I hate that he's that good.
I swear that they said that this was his third chamber. I thought that that's what Michael Cole had said, that this was Logan Paul's third chamber match, but I don't know. And obviously he was in last year since we were just listening to me read that. But
So definitely
uh,
two, yeah.
yeah, I don't remember about the year before, but
Like maybe one in
nonetheless,
Saudi.
oh, maybe that's a good call, actually. That's
Yeah.
actually a really good call. All right, so let's go ahead and do some housekeeping and then we'll get
Do
out of
you
here.
want?
So, you are here with us for the cookout every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, where we are all supposed to come together, CM,
You are
and talk about what's going
shady.
on. Talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. Um, on Friday night. It is Friday night fights. It's usually Anika and Sammy Joe watching SmackDown starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, giving you their reactions and opinions to the show in real time. Saturday mornings, it's the Winner's Circle. It's myself, Sammy Joe, and Anika reviewing Monday Night Raw, NXT, and AEW Dynamite from the days prior and giving you a grade for each show. And the show with the highest grade is your winner for the week. Saturday night is all right. Our AEW Collision watch long. It's often hit or miss on Saturday nights. I don't know at this point if we will be here this Saturday night, but we will let you know as we get closer. On Friday, we'll let you know about Saturday. So, but if we have one, it starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern with Collision. Watching Collision in real time, giving you reactions and opinions. If we don't have a watch along, CM usually does a rundown, which gives us a rundown, which is a review of Collision and Asahi Wrestling from the week. So you should be able to catch that at some point later if we don't have a watch along on Saturday nights. And I said March 1st. Clearly, it didn't come back on March 1st, but I'm hoping that any time now, me and
We're
Sammy can
working
get
on
together
it.
and and do some new Enter the Square Circle. If and when it's up on Sundays at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Again, the best way to make sure that you get notified when we put something up on the YouTube channel is to hit that bell on the YouTube channel so that you get notified every time we do put something up. You can scan this QR code. The QR code will take you to Linktree, and from Linktree, you can get to all of our social media from one location. These are all the different places that you can interact with us. So please come check us out on all these places. Love to hear from you guys. Love to hear what you guys are doing and interact with you guys. So, if you, and last but not least, where's if you want to just listen to the cookout, if you don't necessarily have the time to sit and look at mine and Nika's beautiful faces, you can just listen to the audio version. And you can hear the golden sounds of our voices anywhere you want. You can catch them on all of these YouTube or all of these podcast platforms on the screen. So check those out: Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Google Podcasts, and you can listen to the Cookout podcast without having to watch it. So make sure and check that out. And unless Anita's got anything else, we'll cut out the lights and get out of here. Peace.
Bye.
Yep, what happened?